even a little bit interested in him.
Down his marriage proposal.
Now this torch is on fire.
Overton wants to make her Mrs. Jones, but they've got a thing going on.
Living single.
Monday night at 6:30 on Fox 5.
This is a Fox Sports presentation.
You are looking at the Fleet Center in Boston, where the Bruins are hoping for an enthusiastic crowd on hand today to help them win and force a Game 7 in their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series with Washington. Byron Defoe stopped 26 cap shots on Friday night in that victory, and Captain Ray Bork helped the cause with the goal in the Bruins shutout. Game 6 up next. For the Bruins, who hope to end an 0-for-17 streak in playoff series, which they've trailed 3-1. Meanwhile, the Caps hope to erase some bad history of their own. 4 times in the first round since '87, they've blown a 2-game lead. History will change for somebody today. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown, welcoming you inside our Fox studios in Los Angeles for our continuing coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And joining me, as always, my partner, Dave Maloney. Bruin Jason Allison was hurt early in Game 5, but hey, with a goal and 2 assists, played well nonetheless.
He certainly did. Representative of the Bruins youth movement, the 22-year-old Jason Allison was originally drafted by these same Washington Caps in 1992. The Caps asked him to go to power skating school, much to his chagrin. The organization and player never really embraced themselves. He ends up as a Bruin, 7 points. The 22-year-old has been asked to be the man, and he has been for the Bruins.
Caps leading goal scorer Peter Bondra with 52 on the season. Skated around in pregame, but he will be a game-time decision.
Well, the importance of Peter Bondra is his 52 goals, James, that he scored during the regular season. The next highest Cap scorer has been Adam Oates with 18. They've had to rely on Ole the goalie through 5 games, who have stopped and have faced an average of 38 shots a game. They need Bondra in his offense.
And, of course, Bondra has missed the last 3 games because of a sprained ankle. Detroit and Phoenix, that'll be coming up later today. Detroit leads 3-2. What do you expect to happen?
Well, after Game 5, Detroit center iceman Sergei Fedorov suggested that the Wings had to be physical and keep skating. I expect the Wings and their talent to end the Phoenix Coyotes season right here today.
All right, and keep in mind that Hobby Booling will not be in goal. It'll be Jimmy Waite. All right, Dave, before we get to our Game 6 matchups, there were 3 others that took place last night. Let's start in the West, where the Avalanche were looking to close out their first-round series with the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, let's go to the Canadian Northwest, where Joe Sakic in town to play the Oilers. That's Miron off on a pass from Waite. That's the game's 2nd goal. They only needed 1. They beat Colorado. Game 7 Monday night in the Mile High City. Let's go to San Jose. Hitchcock says, forget about last year, boys. It might take overtime. It did. Mike Keane on a nice pass from Sidori's 2nd of the game. And that, folks, allows the Stars to advance in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll head east. Where are we going? Martin Brodeur in Ottawa, Game 6. The Senators up 3-1 in the series. Laukkonen from the point. We saw it last week. By golly, they're celebrating the Great White North. The Ottawa Senators oust the Eastern Division regular season champs, the Devils. And by golly, I hope with Ottawa's win and Buffalo's win, they'll start skating in the East. It's more fun to watch.
A lot of fans are saying, hey, indeed, to that notion. Colorado-Edmonton, a game that ended almost around 1 a.m. Eastern. All right, folks, time for a break. But when we come back, we'll send you out to the first period of our Game 6 between the Caps and the Bruins. And we'll see you back here at intermission.
Terrorists use the ultimate weapon on an all-new episode of The X-Files tonight. It's an avalanche of terror that'll chill you to the bone with its blizzard breath. It's Alpengeist, the tallest, fastest, most twisted hanging coaster in the world. And right now, you can get $4 off coupons to Busch Gardens at participating Subway locations. Subway is home of the $1.98 sub of the month. Subway, the way a sandwich should be. Alpengeist at Busch Gardens. A cool way to spend your summer.
Little trucks make for long weeks, but Dodge Dakota's bigger to lighter.
lighten Monday's load. Its tough ram looks make Tuesday more memorable. Its longer, wider stance smooths hump day right out, while its superior magnum power makes Thursday fly. And voila, it's Friday, and better yet, the weekend. Dakota, for shorter weeks and bigger weekends.
Why get put out every time you mop your floor? The amazing Dirt Devil Mop Vac lets you scrub your floor clean, instantly vacuum it dry as a bone, and get right back to your normal routine. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
The amazing Dirt Devil Broom Vac sweeps and picks up dirt in one easy motion. You'll never have to stoop to using a dustpan again. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
Tuesday, the accused submit to a lie detector.
Were you involved in the Oklahoma City bombing?
But not everyone told the truth. Marsha Clark hosts Lie Detector, Tuesday.
Little trucks make for long weeks, but Dodge Dakota's bigger to lighten Monday's load. Its tough ram looks make Tuesday more memorable. Its longer, wider stance smooths hump day right out, while its superior magnum power makes Thursday fly. And voila, it's Friday, and better yet, the weekend. Dakota, for shorter weeks and bigger weekends. Now, select Dodge and competitive owners get $500 owner's bonus cash on all new Dakotas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are flying in the Bermuda Triangle, a place where things are known to disappear and are never found. Fortunately, we have an I-Omega zip drive on board, and with it I can make a quick copy of all my important stuff. The 100 megabyte zip disk let me save, store, and take all my stuff with me. No need to panic. Okay, boys, let's take her back in. Hello?
Get an I-Omega zip drive today, because it's your stuff.
Time now to take you to Boston, where Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti are set to call Game 6 between the Bruins and the Washington Capitals. So let's send you on out to the Fleet Center.
Rarely in sports do you find the word pressure applied to the team leading 3-2 in a playoff series. Meet the Washington Capitals, a veteran team haunted by the ghosts of playoffs past. A fragile team needing to shake its postseason image. As one famous Bostonian writer once proclaimed, the pressure is coming. The pressure is coming. The pressure is here. 3 times in the last 11 seasons, the Washington Capitals have had a 3-1 lead in a playoff series and lost. This season, they don't want that to repeat. But their veteran players have been through it. They know it could happen. The Boston Bruins want that to happen. They want to send the series to a 7th and deciding game in Washington. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen along with Joe Micheletti. The Boston Bruins are facing elimination, but they're trying to get into the heads of the Washington Capitals and make them think of the past playoff failures.
You know, Ron Wilson, it's his first year as head coach of the Washington Capitals, and he says he has thought about that all season long. Going into the third periods, he's thought about the past. He says it's like a distant echo that just hasn't gone away. So they addressed it yesterday in practice. They tried to keep everybody loose. And now they want to just go after it today and put an end to all of it.
The good news for the Caps is they have their star and leading goal scorer, Peter Bondra, back in the lineup. He started game 1. He started game 2, couldn't finish, and he's been out ever since.
Yeah, well, the thing that Peter Bondra does for a team, first of all, let's talk about his goals, 52 in the regular season. But the other factor that really is important for Washington is that it gives him a great deal of speed. Something that they didn't have with Bondra and Zednik out of the lineup. Now he's a threat to score in just about any situation.
The road team has won each of the last 4 games in this series. The Bruins played their best game of the series in game 5, and they want to play that road-type game at home today.
Yeah, that's why Pat Burns put together a tape of all the good and the bad of this series, and most of it, the good from the road game. So that's what they're going to try and do, play conservative here at home.
The crowd alive here at the Fleet Center in Boston as the Bruins try to stay alive and the Caps try to advance to the second round, and we're underway. Ray Bourque banging it off the glass into the Washington zone. The Caps have Sergei Gonchar and Joe Ricci on defense. Joey Junot with Adam Oates and Brian Bellows up front. This is Junot at the game-winning goal in game 3. The back pass taken away by Rob DeMaio, number 19 for Boston, who's on with Tim Taylor and P.J. Axelson. Ray Bourque, who's been absolutely terrific in this series, and Hal Gill on defense for the Bruins.
And we saw that last drop pass just inside the blue line. Boston was able to go the other way. That's what Ron Wilson does not want his team to do, is turn the puck over in the neutral zone.
Jason Allison, who has been outstanding at each of the 2 Bruins wins. He has been shut down in the 3 Bruins losses. Puck kept in by Dmitry Kristich. Allison, Kristich, and Samsonov. Here's Kristich. Backhand pass to Allison. Shot went right through Kolzig, but wide of the net. Samsonov for the puck. Taken away by Brian Bellows. Able to clear the zone to Michael Pavanka. Gloved by Byron Defoe. The goaltending matchup has been the same throughout the series. Byron Defoe for Boston. Olaf Kolzig for Washington. They have exchanged shutouts in games 4 and 5. Kolzig a 38 save performance in game 4. Saved by Kolzig on Kristich. Defoe had a 26 save performance in game 5.
And a great start for that big line of the Boston Bruins. Boy, they come up with 2 excellent scoring chances because of their ability and because they were quick on the puck. Allison will make an excellent, Kristich, great move right there. Now the pass across. And Allison, there's the shot. And he tried to beat Kolzig through the legs and just wide out the other way. And there you see those 2 and the kind of shots they've faced in this series. Big discrepancy, Sam.
Kolzig has faced the most shots of any goaltender in the playoffs thus far. Byron Defoe came up with his first NHL playoff shutout in game 5. And they needed a big performance. There was some talk, a little bit of talk, I don't know how serious it got, that Pat Burns was thinking of starting Rob Tallis, the backup goaltender, in game 5, but then went back to Defoe, who came up with a solid effort.
Yeah, Defoe's been the player that's done it all season for him in goal.
Now, Bondra is on the ice for the first time since game 2 of this series. He injured his ankle in game 1. Bondra, number 12, with Richard Zednik, who is recently back. This is his 2nd game. He returned in game 5. And Andrei Nikolishin for Washington.
And Zednik played very well in game 5.
In the corner, Zednik's got the puck. Now Nikolishin moves it to Bondra. He's checked by Kyle McLaren. Good hit by McLaren. And the Boston coaching staff wanting McLaren to play more physical. Puck cleared out of the zone by Mike Sullivan. Chipped away by Kalle Johansson. And taken over by Tenorti. Tenorti with Johansson on defense for Washington as they change lines. Send out Dale Hunter with Chris Simon, who will get a lot of boos from the crowd because Simon, on the 2nd shift of the game, in game 5, slashed Jason Allison in the back of the left knee.
Yeah, and Allison didn't play the last 10 minutes of game number 5. Now we got things going.
Tenorti.
And Thornton, I believe.
Joe Thornton. And Tenorti throwing punches over the linesman's head. Both linesmen in there, and they're still going at it.
The linesmen are taking a beating in that one. Joe Thornton has slowly played more and more as this series has gone on, and he said prior to game 6, I hope it's physical because I can get into the game a little bit more when it's physical, and they're into it early here.
The youngest player in the game, Joe Thornton. His coach, Pat Burns, looks on. He's been very happy with the way Thornton has played, but as you know, as a youngster, he's been a little inconsistent. He'll have one very good shift, then one not so good shift. But as you said, Joe, he has played more and more throughout the series.
Here they are right over here. Thornton and Tenorti. They come together, and look at Thornton. Thornton with the right hand. He instigated this. And then the pushing and shoving, and Thornton is the first one to throw the gloves down. Here it is, and watch the right hand right there to the head of Tenorti. And Tenorti, of course, doesn't back down from anyone. And then they end up throwing the gloves down. The whistle goes. And, boy, they're really trying to throw the punches. And right in the middle of that is Wayne Bonney. 94 in the striped shirt is Wayne Bonney. And he finally gets some help.
Dan McCourt, the other linesman, got in there. He's without the helmet. The referee is Don Koharski looking on. And Don Koharski assessing each player 5 minutes for fighting at 2:41. No loss of manpower on the ice. The 2 combatants will cool it for a little bit.
Well, Pat Burns says, I hope this team comes at us aggressively. The harder they come at us, the better it is. Because when they're overly aggressive, we're just going to keep chipping the puck out of the zone and use our speed against this Washington team.
Caps control, Kalle Johansson behind the net. Johansson paired with Brendan Witt on defense here. Adam Oates on with Joey Juneau and Brian Bellows for Washington.
And there's Boston backing up. When they don't have a chance to go in and forecheck, they just back up. All 5 players.
Ray Bourque is on with Hal Gill, the defensive pair against the Adam Oates line. attacking line of Tim Taylor, Rob DeMeyer, and P.J. Axelson for Boston. Gill swings it behind the net. Stopped by Junot. Bork there to stop it. Takes a hit from Adam Oates. Oates with a good play to get it to Bellows. Oates in the corner, stopped by Gill. Penalty upcoming. Penalty called on the play. There's an interference call. And it's against Washington.
Joey Junot came in late after Oates had made the play. He got back up on the play, made it, but Washington will be shorthanded.
Today is a black day in the history of the NHL. It grieves me to report that the most noble symbol of the game of hockey, the Stanley Cup, has been stolen. Please, one moment. What kind of sick and twisted person would do such a thing? Police have no clues except for a sound heard by one of the night watchmen, Doobie, Doobie, Doo.
Doobie, doobie, doo.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins.
You need a muffler. And you need it now. Right now, at participating Midas shops, the famous Economizer Plus muffler is just $29.95 for a limited time only. $29.95, and it's guaranteed. So get into Midas now for a great muffler for just $29.95. Before it's too late.
Time to get out in the yard and get to the Craftsman Lawn and Garden Sale at Sears. Pick up America's most powerful mower, only $297. Sears' lowest price ever. The Craftsman Lawn and Garden Sale at Sears. Now that makes anything possible.
This is what your house feels like on the new Coldwell Banker Real Estate website. It attracts lots of attention, so your home can be seen by thousands of buyers every day until it's sold. Online, on the phone, or in person. Coldwell Banker, making real estate real easy.
Here's Joey Junot. The Bruins will get the first power play. Watch Junot come in. Right now he's going to interfere with Hal Gill. Here's Gill, 25. Watch how he did. Right there, the interference. There's the call. The referee puts his hand up immediately. Boston power play.
In each game in this series, the Caps have taken more penalties than the Boston Bruins. Bruins have twice as many power play chances than the Caps.
And everybody's talking about it. The players are talking about for Washington, the coach, and they just can't seem to get away from it.
Allison deep against Rieke. Allison, Samsonov, Kristich, Van Imp, and Bort. The power play for Boston. Tikkanen, Pavanka, Rieke, and Gonchar, the penalty killers. Saved by Kolzig with a blocker on the long shot. Boston is 6 for 34 on the power play in the series.
And they're coming off a game in which they scored 2 power play goals because they changed their power play a little bit. They were doing what was called a 2-second drill in practice, which means you have to move the puck immediately. That's what they've been doing. They're having success.
Samsonov is in. The backhander to the side of the net. Kolzig's got the puck underneath him. Samsonov took it a little too deep, showing good speed. Sergei Samsonov has really played better as this series has come along, as he has acclimated himself to the NHL Stanley Cup playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, and that time, Washington was in a change. And now look at all the speed. Washington's going one way. Boston's coming the other way. Here they come. Look at the quick puck movement. Now it's a 3-on-1 down low. Samsonov looking to pass, but the pass is taken away. That's what they want to try and do, is move the puck across to force Kolzig to move and not let him set himself. Samsonov looked over. The pass wasn't there. He had to take the shot.
Kristich gets to the puck. And a penalty call. And it's against Kalle Johansson. And the Bruins will have a 2-man advantage.
Kalle Johansson lost his stick right off the faceoff. So now he's somewhat defenseless and then tries to make the play without the stick. And he can't do it. He has to pull the man down. And that'll be 4-on-3. And now the Washington penalty box filling up quickly. Off the fit. There you see the stick over there. And there's Johansson without one. You could see his stick down on the ice. And now he tries to defend against Samsonov, who is so good moving laterally and so quick.
And not only are the Caps down 2 men, but 2 of their best defensemen, Kalle Johansson and Mark Tenorti, are off the ice.
Yeah, that trade-off, Joe Thornton for Tenorti, was a good one for Boston.
Johansson holding the stick at 4:14, 1:06 remaining on the Junot penalty. A 5-on-3 advantage for Boston for 1:06. Allison and Oates for the faceoff. Oates wins it. Big win. Gonchar clears.
Oh, that's huge. That's a huge face-off win for Adam Oates. He won it cleanly, and that's going to take take a good 20 seconds off the clock.
Oates, Gonchar, and Ricci, the three for Washington. Allison, slowed down by Ricci, plays it deep. Kristich against Gonchar. Ted Donato is on for Boston. Number 21 playing the puck ahead for Dmitri Kristich. Allison goes back to Van Imp and across the board with room. Now Van Imp turns down low. Donato pass across, missed connection. Van Imp, Bork fakes the shot. Pressured by Gonchar. It's out of the zone. Good play by Gonchar.
Washington very, very aggressive. Even though they're down 2 men, they're putting a lot of pressure on the puck.
Bruins haven't had a shot on goal on this 2-man advantage. And it only has 15 seconds to go. Allison. Bruins trying to be patient. Here's Bork. Now Allison. Big battle in front. Long shot. Save. Colzing. Oates couldn't clear. He was denied by Bork. Donato's got the puck. Now Bork looking. Here's Van Imp. To Allison. 1 man back for Washington. Oates. Juneau is back, but he lost his stick as he tried to check Bork. Van Imp to Bork. Bork looking. It's a 5-on-4 advantage for Boston. 40 seconds remaining. Van Imp turns. Down low. Missed by Kristich. Allison gets it back to Kristich. Kristich through to Bork. He shoots off the shoulder of Colzing. Bounces past Donato and is cleared by Gonchar.
And Joey Juneau made a mistake by not going over to pick up his stick. By the time he thought about doing it, the Boston defenseman shot his stick out of the zone, so now he couldn't get it, and Boston took advantage of that.
Here's Samsonov. 12 seconds left in the power play. Forced back. Down the boards for Steve Hines. Hines checked by Housley. Hines in the corner. Grant Ledyard has come on for Boston at the left point, number 36. Pavanka able to lift it clear, and the power play is over. Great penalty kill for the Washington Capitals, killing off a 2-man advantage for 106.
That is huge. That is just huge for the Washington Capitals. So aggressive, and now they're back to work.
Along the boards, Hines. He's checked by Brendan Witt. Housley fires it across, gave it up to the Bruins. Kyle McLaren's got the puck.
And Sam, Boston made a mistake on that 5-on-3. They had 3 players lined up in a straight line and no one in the slot to give the puck to, and they couldn't make the play. The only place he could go was back to the point. They didn't have anyone in the slot.
Down low, chance for Zednik. They score! Richard Zednik split it underneath Byron Defoe, and the Washington Capitals take a 1-0 lead.
He missed on the shot. It looked like he tried to hold off on the shot, and he just lost control of it and threw everybody off. It was like a changeup on Defoe. Good job right here on the point, and look at that pass. Look at that pass. Look at it. He kind of loses it a little bit. Kind of loses it, and Defoe comes out, and that puck just slipped right through his legs into the net. Head up. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. Beautiful pass, and a little losing control of it is Zednik. They still count as he gets that one past Defoe for the Washington lead.
Gonchar, Zednik, and Zednik, who's one of the leading rookie scorers in the league this year with 17, would have had a lot more had he not been injured, gets his first playoff goal, the Caps' first shot on goal at 6:54. And the Caps, for the 5th time in this series, only in Game 5 did they not grab the lead. They score first. We'll be right back.
Little trucks make for long weeks, but Dodge Dakota's bigger to lighten Monday's load. Its tough Ram looks make Tuesday more memorable. Its longer, wider stance smooths hump day right out, while its superior Magnum power makes Thursday fly. And voila, it's Friday. And better yet, the weekend. Dakota, for shorter weeks and bigger weekends. Now select Dodge and competitive owners get $500 owner's bonus cash on all new Dakotas.
Surge! It's a fully loaded citrus soda with carbos!
Hey, good win. Hey, does anybody need anything? Okay, good solid hits out there, guys. Thanks, man.
This is my lucky jersey. Don't mess it up.
Oh, no. Oh, pink. The colors aren't pink. Oh, no.
Hey, Bob. Have you seen my lucky sock?
For
100 years, Biv the Michelin Man has symbolized our never-ending quest to invent the best tires in the world. Michelin, celebrating 100 years of innovation.
Fifth time in this series that the Bruins have fallen behind. 4 times they've trailed 2-0 in games. And the Bruins are still looking for their first goal in the first period of a game in this series. Long shot by Johansson, stick save by Defoe, and the rebound's up into the crowd. 12:44 to go, first period, and the Caps, with Ron Wilson trying to keep things light, and the whole coaching staff of the Caps trying to keep things light for their team and saying, you know, what's gone on in the past doesn't mean anything. We have to face our demons and talk about it. Can't be afraid to talk about it, but forget about the past.
Yeah, there's Tim Hunter, one of the assistant coaches. You saw Tim Army a second ago. And that's one of the reasons that they brought in Tikkanen and brought in Bellows. 2 players that had won Stanley Cup championships. And Bellows, again, talked about it yesterday. You have highs and lows in the playoffs. It's a roller coaster ride. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. No one said it was going to be easy. Let's just play the next game. Go out and try and win it.
Here's a big, nasty line for Washington. Hunter centering Berube and Simon.
And Baumgartner, the Boston tough guy on the ice also.
Simon with the puck against Van Imp. Simon big and strong. He returned earlier in this series. After being out with shoulder surgery, Simon trying to get a shot off, partly deflected by Donato. Wings it around the boards all the way down. Bruins have Donato with Baumgartner and Sullivan. This is an icing on Boston. And play stops. 12:22 remaining in this first period. Chris Simon, the Bruins were very upset with him in Game 5 because he came on behind Jason Allison and slapped him in the back of the knee with a stick. And Allison's leg went numb for a while. He's been nursing a bad knee.
Yeah, he said the leg was numb for 10 minutes. He came back and played, and as Pat Burns was saying, Allison is not the type of player to stay down on the ice. He's played hurt all season. He's got a tremendous pain threshold. And as I mentioned earlier, he didn't play him in the last 10 minutes of the game. They were up 4-0. But at that time, Allison's still in a lot of pain.
He suffered a bit of a sprained knee in Game 3. Here's Rod DeMaio moving in, shooting, save by Kolzig off his left arm. DeMaio had a great goal in Game 5. One of the highlight goals of all the playoffs. Tim Taylor with a wraparound stop by Kolzig. Another shot by DeMaio, similar to the one in Game 5, was stopped.
This is the line for Boston that seems to get things going when they need something going. They work hard. You saw DeMaio get in there. Axelson, good speed. Taylor's the same way. When they need a spark, this line provides it for them.
Down the board, the pass misconnection will be an icing on Boston as Brendan Witt touches up. 11:38 to go in this first period. As you look at the defense from Brendan Witt, here's how the series has gone. Game 1, Sergei Gonchar with a game winner, an empty net goal, and Washington won 3-1. Game 2 went to double overtime, and Boston won at 4-3. Darren Van Imp with 2 goals in the game of the game winner. In Game 3, it was double overtime again. Joey Juneau scoring the game winner. Olaf Kolzig with 38 saves and a shutout. Washington won Game 4. Boston came back. Jason Allison a goal and 2 assists. And Byron Defoe 26 saves as Boston stayed alive in the series.
Yeah, that was the first game that Boston was able to score the first goal of the game. It's important from their standpoint, even though Pat Burns says no, he doesn't want his players to get negative feelings if they don't score first. But the thing with Boston is their last 14 regular season games, when they scored the first goal of the game, they won.
Yeah. The last shot was taken by Michael Pavanka for Washington. Puck is lifted out of the zone. Peter Bondra is there to take it. Caps with a 1-0 lead. In Game 6 of this best-of-7 series, you know, while they're playing mind games, Ron Wilson's trying to play mind games on Boston and remind everybody that the Bruins have never won a series when they trailed 3-1.
17 times.
17 times in the history of the franchise. So the mind games are going back and forth. Ron Wilson saying, whose karma is worse? Played up the boards for Anson Carter. Pavanka sends it back in. Brad Ledger, number 36. Outlets to Carter. He was checked by Riki. Andrei Nikolitin stopped at the line. Richard Zednik with the puck. Gonchar winds up and fires in.
And Pat Burns is remaining with that matchup. Raymond Bourque out against Adam Oates.
And a little mix and match line here with Ted Donato, Steve Hines, and Dimitri Kristich. The forward line for Boston. Lifted clear by McLaren, and Riki stops it.
I think the speed on that line helps offset the speed of Bondra and Sednik.
Now Allison, Samsonov, and Kristich on. As the threesome, the bouncer, gloved by Kolzig, and he holds on. Just past the midway point of the first period. And the Caps with a 1-0 lead.
Olaf Kolzig, boy, he has been something in this playoff series. He made some good early saves. One on the 5-on-3 where Boston had a real opportunity to take the lead in this game. And he has really refined the way he plays goal, Sam, and is now one of the top goaltenders in the league.
We were talking with Dave Fryer, the goaltending coach of the Caps, who knows Kolzig from the World Cup 2 years ago when they both were with Team Germany, and he says this is a great combination of a big man with great athletic agility.
Now 6'3", 225 pounds. And what he has learned to do, he used to, when he'd go down to his knees, he would always lean forward. Well, Dave Fryer helped him change that. So when he goes down to his knees now, his back is straight.
Shot wide by Bourque.
And so his back being straight, he still takes away a lot of the net.
He has really elevated himself among the top goaltenders in the league. B.J. Axelsson, the rookie from Sweden, sending it in. Mark Tenori takes a hit from DeMaio. And another hit from Axelsson as they go after Tenori. Juneau coming the other way. Oates, pass across, off the skates, just wide. Bellows deflecting it off his skates, it just went wide. Axelsson is wrapped up by Johansson. And Oates plays it back. Another brilliant pass by Adam Oates.
Now, after that line of Boston got in, got some hits going, tried to force a turnover, Washington did a nice job getting the puck out of their zone to set up, get the puck to Oates so that he could set up for the offensive chance.
Al Gill played it deep, back for Joe Riki, under 9 minutes to go in the first, and Washington leading 1-0 on a goal by Richard Zednik. High speed to Kristich, stick save Kolzig. Allison passed knocked away, chipped off the top by Dave Ellis. The defenseman came in, but played it over the top of the net. Van Imp is back for it. Elliott back to Van Imp. Pass coming through, and back for it is Brendan Witt. Off the boards to Michael Pavanka. Pavanka cross with Mike Eagles, who's back in the lineup. As the Caps get fresh legs back in, Kelly Miller is sat out, scratched. Man who's played more games in a Washington Capitals uniform than anyone else. Which shot was sticked aside.
Now, they wanted to give Boston a different look as well, because Eagles plays a little bit on the edge. He plays a tough, rough game, and they wanted that look in the lineup.
Samsonov bounced off the Witt check. Elliott plays it toward the net high off the glass. Down comes Kyle McLaren. His shot stopped by Kolzig. Again, the Bruins getting a lot of shots. A lot of them are from the outside, though.
Well, the mismatch in this series is the size of the Washington defense against the smaller Boston forwards. That's why they're having trouble getting to the front of the net.
Ledger checks Zednik, pins him, takes him down. Koharski wants them to move as the puck comes down the other end of the ice. Steve Hines for Boston, back to Joe Thornton. Bruins have been looking for a second-line center, a center to play with Hines and Carter. Thornton has been in there a little bit. They haven't gotten enough production from that second offensive line.
Yeah, they expect Thornton to be that number 2 guy next year.
Big hit by Tenori on Carter. Nicolishin tries to play the puck and does. Out for Phil Housley. Housley with Bondra. There's a penalty called on Boston. Penalty upcoming behind the play. And a power play for Washington on a hooking call with 7:02 to go in the first period. Ledger with a big hit.
Great. That tune-up.
These AC Delco parts are about the most dependable you can buy. They should really help improve your performance.
Come on, they're all the same. I'll take some out of this bushel basket.
Okay.
AC Delco. No matter what you drive, if you're not asking for it, we're asking for it.
Now that Wendy's is sponsoring the NHL, Dave is heading for the rink.
Here's your skates, Dave. We play on ice? What a kid. Nice goal, eh? Nice goal, eh?
Don't need this, Dave.
What for?
Can't have you taking one in the melon now, can we?
Oh. Mike, maybe we ought to have lunch first.
Then come to Wendy's for a delicious Big Bacon Classic Combo with Biggie fries and a 20-ounce drink. We call it the hat trick.
I know the perfect position for you.
Really?
Try a Big Bacon Classic Combo today.
Jamaica Queen? Nah, that's it. Basketball is a world in itself. They call me 20 because I was driving 20 and more a game. Look into the camera. Brian Woodward. Okay.
We'll be one of the best players in the city next year.
Best player in New York City? Yeah, if I come back. That was the day we didn't know it.
We lost him and we lost everything.
Something about team.
He was scared. He was bugging out. And
In the head of what I'm supposed to be.
quiet.
Until they get on the basketball court, of course.
Yeah, he does his thing.
Here's a rookie mistake for Boston. That's Joe Thornton, the circle player. Already two Boston forwards are in deep. He's got to stay back. He doesn't. He goes in. Now he's caught with the good outlet pass. The only thing he can do is hook the player to slow him down. That's a penalty, and Washington goes on the power play.
Obstruction hooking on Joe Thornton at 12:58. Caps are 3 for 17 on the power play in the series. A big point in this game early was the Caps down 2 men for a minute 6 seconds. Their penalty killers came up big, killed off the Boston power play opportunity, and then the Caps came down and scored when they got their first offensive chance. Juneau, Oates and Bellows, Gonchar and Housley for the power play, Gill and Bork, DeMaio and Sullivan, the penalty killers for Boston. Gill kicks the puck to Bork. Stopped by Gonchar. Off the glass, Hal Gill there to play it. Waits, off the glass, and slides out of the zone.
And for Washington in this game, their 6 defensemen, they don't have anybody that's a right-handed shot. So Gonchar is playing the right side. So he's got to take the puck off the boards on his backhand and try and bring it back. They probably won't get many shots from the right point unless they can get it cleanly and have a lot of room.
Sergei Gonchar had an assist on the goal by Richard Zednik. Housley to Gonchar. Gonchar scored 4 goals in the first 3 games of this series. Dave Ellett blocked by Zednik. Zednik, Nicolishin, and Bondra on for Washington. And it's cleared by P.J. Axelson.
And Washington is doing what they want to do. They want Housley carrying the puck up the middle of the ice, which he is doing now. The forwards crisscrossing, and then making the pass to the side is what they like to do. And they feel that they can carry the puck in the zone and set it up.
Defoe keeps the play alive, and it's chipped clear by Kristich. Long shot by Housley from the red line. Kristich for the takeaway. Give and go with Allison. And the pass off the skate. Back the other way. Zednik with speed. Back comes Dave Ellett. Zednik shoots. Save Defoe. Rebound in the corner. Zednik gets knocked down. Kristich trying to play the puck. Nicolishin's helmet was knocked off. Puck cleared out as Thornton's out of the box, and he feeds Allison. Allison winds up and shoots just wide. Puck out of the zone. Peter Bondra behind the play is injured. Peter Bondra is down. The man who came in with the injured ankle trying to go is down and hurt.
Here's an update on our top story. Police now confirm the Bud Ice Penguin has been captured. Authorities say it is now safe to serve Bud Ice. That's right, just bring it all out in the open there. Nothing to worry about, everything's fine. And now, back to the music. Doobie-doobie-doo.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins. The net is your engine. The puck is friction, and we're the guy with the mask and big pads. Quaker State now makes high-tech synthetic motor oils, specially formulated for the vehicle you drive and the way you drive it, for superior engine protection. Quaker State, official protector of the NHL. Receive free roadside assistance coverage when you purchase Quaker State. Get details at participating retailers.
It's your own little world. You're way up high, so you can see everything. It has lots of places to hide your treasures. It's roomy. It's cozy, with space for all your favorite things and your favorite people. It makes you feel like you're part of a club.
Dodge Caravan. It's like a treehouse for grown-ups. Caravan, an automobile magazine all-star.
Peter Bondra with the bad right ankle. He doesn't get hit. He does the hitting, but he goes straight into the boards and into the man. Right here, bad right ankle, goes into the boards and felt it immediately. Must have twisted on him, and he stayed down on the ice.
Here it is again.
Now he has that ankle tape, but not heavily because he doesn't like any type of restrictions. And he is still on the bench. He'll try and stay in this game and try and play in the important number 6 game.
He's about 80%, but they feel 80% of Peter Bondra is better than putting in a backup.
I agree with their thinking.
And reserve player. Hand pass whistled in the neutral zone. 4:32 to go in this first period. For Boston, the point production has come from the Allison line. The defensemen have chipped in. The Adam Oates line and their defensemen have chipped in with 6 goals. No scoring from the other forwards for Washington. Only 2 goals from other forwards for Boston.
Yeah, kind of tells you the story. That's why Ron Wilson wants his defenseman, Sergei Gonchar in particular, and we saw in game number 3 where he moved up and scored 2 goals. He wants him to continue to get involved in the offense and join the rush whenever he can.
That changed this afternoon with Richard Zednik, by the way, getting the goal, so that gives another forward a goal for Washington. 4:20 to go, first period. Caps with a 1-0 lead. Kyle McLaren pushing it ahead. Carter was stopped. Mike Sullivan now on with P.J. Axelson and Anson Carter. Pat Burns does a little mixing up of the lines. Ricky and Gonchar on defense. Gonchar got his stick caught in the net. He got it loose, took a hit from Axelson. Taylor able to keep the puck alive along the boards. Now Gonchar drives it around. And Bork recovers in center.
Yeah, we saw that simple play, just going around the boards. That's all Washington wants to do. If they feel any pressure at all, they want to go hard off the boards, hard off the glass, anything to keep the puck out of the middle of the ice, where if there's a turnover, there's a scoring chance.
Taylor against Ricky. Axelson and Juno in the corner. Taylor trying to work it up the boards for Bork. Collision between Bellows and DeMaio, and out with the puck is Esa-Tikkanen.
And Bellows in perfect defensive position. That's another thing they stressed yesterday. Get ready for game 6. Don't make any mistakes in our end. Everyone play their position, and Bellows made a good defensive play.
Bruins have gone several minutes without a shot on goal, and that time Hal Gill shot from the red line. Knocked away by Johansson. Eagles runs into Dmitry Kristich. Ivanka comes out with the puck. Ivanka trying to get by Hal Gill, who hooked him a little bit. And the Bruins take the puck back. Sergei Samsonov flying through the neutral zone, but the Caps able to break it up nicely. Pavanka fires it back in. Defoe leaves a rebound and stops Bondra. Bondra got to the puck. He looked fine there.
Yeah, and he made the defensive play in his own end first. Made the good play on Samsonov and then ended up with the shot.
Elliott takes out Bondra, allowing Allison to play the puck. 2:25 to go in the first. Ricky comes back for the puck. It's an icing on Boston. And play stopped with 2:22 to go in this first period.
And here's the reason why Eagles is in the lineup. He knew he was going to get hit. There he is, 36. Now watch it. He just goes right to the puck. Knew he was going to have a collision, but goes to the puck, and then they end up clearing the puck out. And here's Bondra. Now he looks good there. I'm sure that ankle is tender. Gets the initial pain, goes back to the bench, rests, and then comes back on the ice. But we saw that chance of his. That's what makes him such an important player on this Washington team, because he can come out of nowhere with his speed and get the scoring chance.
Washington with a 1-0 lead. Bondra, if anything, he's been having some problems turning, Joe, and that's where he needs the support with the tape job that you mentioned, but he likes flexibility.
Yeah, so they changed that tape job. It's a lot different than what it was. It's gone from being taped heavily to a light tape job.
Zednik playing it back for Gonchar. Now Richard Zednik. Bumped by Elliott, bounces off. Try to make a play. Carter deflected it. It's batted away. Here's Ricky working it down for Zednik. Zednik checked by Van Imp. Carter takes the puck for Boston. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Washington a 1-0 lead on a goal by Richard Zednik.
Sam, this line's been good for Washington.
Nicolishin moving in. Double teamed and taken to the boards by Darren Van Imp.
You put Zednik and Bondra with their speed on the wings, and that's a totally different look that Boston hasn't seen that much in the series.
Carter moving in with Hines. Saved by Kolzig. Just got a piece. Hines taken out by Tenordi. Penalty upcoming on Washington. Bruins will get a power play. Nicolishin with a touch. And another Boston power play chance. With 1:28 to go in this first period. An elbowing call on Richard Zednik. Boston with their third power play chance of the first period.
It is one of the most powerful warships, with satellite communications, radar and propulsion systems that are the most advanced in the world. But USS Mitchell cannot do a single thing without you. Because the most important part of USS Mitchell is her crew of over 250 sailors who every day embark on a journey of honor, of courage, and of commitment. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue on Fox a week from today at 2 o'clock Eastern, when we bring you the second round, the conference semifinals, 11 o'clock Pacific. In the Eastern Conference, Buffalo and Ottawa have advanced. The Ottawa Senators upsetting the #1 seed in the East, the New Jersey Devils, in 6th.
Damian Rhodes was terrific in goal for the Ottawa Senators. Rhodes with a save percentage of almost 94%.
On the power play, the clear by Gonchar all the way down. Bork. Heads up ice, leads Jason Allison. Allison, Kristich, Samsonov, Van Imp, and Bork. The power play for Boston. Riki checking Allison. Feed to Van Imp. The shot was blocked by Gonchar. Van Imp to Bork. Winds up, fakes. Back to Van Imp. Samsonov. Less than a minute to go in the first period. 1-0. Caps leading it. Van Imp with room. Goes down low to Bork. Bork holds. Saved by Kolzig and no rebound. Riki went down for a block attempt. Bork waited, shot it over him, but Kolzig looking big.
Yeah.
Made the save.
Did he ever? That's the thing Pat Burns was saying. Here's the pass. Bork had slid down the other side. Now he waits on this play, but he said we're either shooting the puck too soon or we're waiting too long. And that time, you could see by the time Bork shot the puck, Kolzig had already slid to his left and he came back the other way. And here's Allison. Wow, what tremendous hands and strength. Instead of holding off Joe Riki, who's a big, strong defenseman, with one arm, passing it with the other one, and the pass was perfect.
The captain, Ray Bork, everyone is raving about how well he has played on both sides. Everyone who's watched him play, we know he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he has played at the top of his game. He's been the best player on the ice virtually every game.
Every game. And of course, the opposing teams always say, what are you going to do against Boston? Well, we got to hit Ray Bork. We got to try and get him tired for the third period. It never happens. No. And we got to take away his shot, and he's leading everybody in the playoffs in shots on goal.
Allison finds Van Imp. Samsonov out to Bork. 28 seconds in the period. Van Imp. Now Samsonov tripped up by Pavanka. Kept in by Van Imp. Bork with a long drive. Save. Kolzig the rebound. Cleared by Pavanka. 15 seconds in the period. Pavanka goes off. Eagles has come on to join Tikkanen. Van Imp couldn't gain the zone. Deflected in and cleared out by Johansson. That'll do it for the first period. And once again, the Bruins have not scored in the first period in this series.
And the Washington penalty killing, terrific. Stopping and going, putting pressure on the puck, and really not allowing Boston many chances.
Richard Zednik, in his second game back from injury, scores the goal in the first period to give the Caps the lead. Coming up, JB and Dave Maloney bring you scores and highlights and analysis. That's all during our intermission.